Good morning. How are you guys? I am going to do some configurations and make sure that we are all good. Um, Testing this out. I still have not been able to figure out how to go live on YouTube. So this is what we're doing. And so thank you so much for those of you guys tuning in. And also, let's get to it, right? And so today, you guys are getting a sneak peek before I hop on. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of test drive this thing out and pull people together and have a great conversation with all of the well pillagers out there. So good morning, cool world. Good morning, H-Town. Good morning to everybody that is just able to enjoy this day. You guys, I'm so excited to come before you because I had like word on my heart, so I just wanted to hop on and just talk about this idea of love and real estate and contingencies, right? And what really brought this to mind is because I was looking at all of the photos. You guys have some beautiful photos, by the way, of family just going outside and being a kid again. And I get it, right? People maybe in other parts of the world, like Houston, act like they ain't never seen no snow before. And I was really kind of just thinking like, well, what is it? Because we have seen snow before, and I actually don't think it has anything to do with the snow as much as it has to do with the fact that we made it through the night in a hyped up catastrophe, and to what I understand, right, most of us are okay. To what I understand, most of us are not in need of FEMA, in need of disaster care, in need of all of the things that, I mean, if you just look, I'm just talking to myself. I believe that sometimes the thought of a storm coming, it triggers this overdrive in you of panic and fear because you're looking to mitigate something that you've never even experienced. Even as professionals, like we'll say something like, you want to winterize your pipes, you want to make sure that you've got the water shut off valve, and you got to drip the faucets and open the cabinets and run the dishwasher and wrap the pipe outside, all of these things. And it's almost kind of like you're preparing for the worst, not knowing. So if you're a bit like me, that means that the night before the storm, I was up. I was just kind of like, God, please just cover the house, protect the house, right? Because you don't know. And I feel like in the past years, Houston has been taught and conditioned that anything could happen. I talked about how even if the pipe doesn't burst, it's the fear of being cold. It's the fear of the grid going out. It's the fear of, am I going to have to stay in my car and run the engine, and just all of these things that memory teaches us to do. And so what came on my heart, because I was talking to somebody, we were talking about something totally different. And we were talking about this idea of loving like you've never been hurt before. And I was like, or maybe just love like you have. Because I think that when we say love like you've never been hurt before, it dismisses what we've been through. Like the equivalent to me would prepare for a disaster like you've never been in a storm before. Well, if you've never been in a storm, you don't know what to do. You don't know that you need to go to the grocery store and get you some stuff so you can have some chili so that you can cook it all over the night. You don't know that you need to go ahead and make sure that you have the supplies that you need, the candles, the batteries, the light, the emergency lights, how to keep the light on, like battery lights. Like, you don't know what you need until you have been through a thing. And it just really kind of shifted the way that I look, because I've said that before, right? Like, love like you've never been hurt before. And I think sometimes that can be reckless. And I think sometimes that the comma and to that statement is love like you've never been hurt and prepare like you have, right? prepare for a storm prepare for snow like you've never experienced before. Prepare for it like a child. You had children praying for snow. My niece was praying for snow, right? An expectancy of what's to come that's not jaded by experience or fear or disaster or rebuilding, right? That's the expectancy that a child has. And that's why I say you got to keep children. I'm so blessed to keep children in my life, is because you hear the way that they process information, right? Those are two different processes, I believe, as an adult and a child. An adult is probably in HEB doing all the things. So yeah, love like you've never been hurt and prepare like you have. And so what does that look like? What does preparation look like? Whether we're talking about love, real estate, or I'd like to add into this conversation is contingencies. So as you guys know, the spring summer selling season is getting ready to come. And here's what I know. A lot of people will wait to sell their home, put it on the market, because they don't want to find themselves in a situation where they don't have a place to go. That's very normal. Most people feel like that. Ain't nobody trying to, be unhoused and figuring things out and possibly moving home. However, here's my concern with that. So when you get ready to sell a home, there is a process that's involved, from, meeting from a first strategy session to discuss what's happening in the market, where the market would position your home to sell quickly. And sell quickly does not mean give it away. However, the goal is not to sit on the market for a year. All right. And so you want to make sure that your motivation is there. You want to make sure that you're preparing your home for sale, right? So we're not just selling homes. Well, I like it, the buyer should like it too. No. You like it. The buyer's going to like whatever it is that they want. So we walk through the process of, whether it's staging or photography, make ready, having contractors come out there, housekeeping come out. And all of this is preparing for a thing. It's a contingency plan. Because we know that most agents are not having the full conversation. They're not having the conversation about how long realistically is taking homes to sell in Houston, Harris County, what homes are selling for, and what buyers' challenges are when it comes to buying a home, right? We look for win-win agreements. In order for us to do that, we have to be on the same page. The reason why I say this is because in all of that, sometimes we will delay. We will delay doing what we have to do, even though we know what we want to do, which is to move into another home or start a new chapter, right? So then I thought, okay, so what's a contingency plan? Now in real estate, a contingency is when you find the home that you like and you're ready to make an offer on that. However, you need to make a contingency that in order for me to buy this home, I must sell the one that I'm in first. The best way that you're going to know that is by having a conversation with a lender. So this is why we proactively start doing these things. This is the HEB prep, right? This is the Family Dollar prep. This is the calling the family, making sure everybody's okay. What do you need? What is the contingency plan? So the contingency plan when you're selling your home and preparing to buy another one is making sure that you've talked to the lender on whether or not realistically you can carry both notes. Is it required or is it beneficial? The second thing is we want to have a market analysis on the home. And so here's the good news, right? I actually spoke with one of our new construction builder partners on, hey, you guys sell so many homes. We've done business with you. From a builder's perspective, what makes you feel comfortable in accepting a contingent offer? And here are 4 things that they told me that they look to see before they consider accepting an offer for someone that must sell their home first. So number 1, you got time. They said that they are willing to give you up until sheetrock to decide on whether or not you would like to move forward with a contingency or release it. Okay, so what's important about that, right? You got about 30 days to get it together on what it is that you're looking to do. So if you were to buy a home today, then you would have about 30 to 40 days to satisfy the contingency, right? And then maybe 2 months of that you'd be in sheetrock. So that might sound a little cloudy, but that's why we schedule strategy sessions. So that's one requirement. The second requirement for a builder to accept a contingency is that it does not have to be listed on MLS, the multiple listing service, also known as HAR in our city in Houston, Harris County. However, you do need to have a market analysis. They are going to look to see what is the likelihood of this home selling within the time frame that it's going to take to build your new home, right? And so they're going to look at days on market, average sales price, and as your real estate advisor, I'm going to prepare this information for you, right? So we're all just talking about preparing for a transition, preparing for the next thing. Number 3, the earnest money is the same, yet they said the earnest money is the same. Okay, so when you buy a home, most of you are familiar, yet for those of us that have not gone through the process, when you buy a home, there's a thing called earnest money. It's basically like a surety. Like, hey, I'm going to buy this home. I'm serious about buying this home. I'm going to put money down, and it's going to be credited back to you at closing when you close. And also, they're going to require that up front. So they're going to require buy-in, all right? We're not just taking homes off the market because it looks good and sounds nice. We're going to have an agreement in place. We're going to have a plan on how you intend to sell this home, and you're going to have skin in the game to ensure that we are both committed to the worthy goal. And then number 4, if the buyer cancels before the contingency is up, they'll get their $10,000 back, right? I'm talking to a specific builder. I'm looking at notes, right? You'll get that earnest money back. So what's the good news in that, right? And I've seen this in real life. When you guarantee a reimbursement or refundable deposit, right? And people will still pause to take action. And what I learned about scenarios like that, when people are afraid to make an upfront investment that you'll get a refund back, like an earnest money if you terminate in your option period, or a deposit if once you complete the services you get this refunded. People that pause aren't sure. And people who aren't sure aren't clear. And people who aren't clear waste time. They drift. That's not personal. It's just spiritual law. Like, if you're not clear on what you're doing, you're going to float and hope it comes to you, right? I'm all about decisive action. I'm all about decisive steps, even if it's slight yet significant. I was on a coaching call this morning, and my coach was telling me about decisive moments. Like, when does your morning start, right? What are the things that get you out of bed? What are the things that say, all right, it's time for me to get into action? For me, it's my coaching calls in the morning. I don't care how early I wake up and how long I frolic. I know that come 7:25, I'm heading into this office and my mind is cued to get to work. Because I know that my calls and my conversations shape everything that happens in the day, right? And so the reason why I said this is this, right? When you know that you have something you need to resolve to get to the next thing, you gotta prepare. You gotta prepare. And we have to get better at what the contingency plans are, not just the wishful thinking plans. Oh, it's gonna snow tomorrow. Let's pray everything's great and good. Maybe it is. Maybe Centerpoint will act a nut and we'll all be on social media talking about how it ain't no power, looking for a tracker. So I wanted to share that. I just be wanting to hop on and talk to you guys honestly, see how everybody is doing. Thank you guys so much just for topping in on the live. And so I am Chase Sloan. I'm a Houston real estate advisor here in Houston, Harris County, and I've done real estate for 15 years, and that's what I do. Yet who I am is I give a fuck about Black people. I just want to say it like that. I love us so much, and I love us down to the details. And sometimes those details are best shared in stories. And instead of me, preaching at you, I'd rather teach with you. I'd rather be able to kind of draw in some correlations that I just see. I love real estate. I love love. I love all the things that go with that. And I love y'all. So if this was of value, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and share it. We're going to do some more things. Yet, one thing that my coach said today is that in order for you to get into decisive action, you must start with a small, consistent habit. And I think for me, that's just going to be hopping on in the morning and talking to you guys for a few minutes. So thanks so much for being here. I'm not here for a long time, just for a good time. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.